she and Ken did a live stream last night on TikTok where people were saying things like, Ryan's the baby daddy, the baby looks like Ryan, and Gypsy made comments stating things like, everybody's gonna look stupid once the baby comes and it turns out that it's Ken.
Why would you just wait? Why would you not just wait? Why, if you are so dead set that it's his, why would you not wait and do it when the baby is here and not when it is invasive and has a risk of miscarriage?
Number one, if you don't care about the drama, why bother with this? It sounds like from the article that the DNA test isn't even going to be valid for the court system once the baby is born.
But allegedly, I think Ryan still needs to get a test. Because she can say whatever the hell she wants. Nobody would know. Nobody. Until it's court ordered, where they want her to take the test.
And we're told Gypsy's footing the bill herself, going through a local company to make it happen. Now, Gypsy is planning to get a test that is admissible in court, but will be up to the court to use it or not. She still plans to do another test once their daughter is born in January, but she's hoping that these initial results will help her, Ken, and Ryan finally move on with their lives.
Guess who gave TMZ the exclusive? Given their inside source phrasing, it's not a stretch to think that Gypsy herself or someone close to her may be feeding them this information to manage public perception. After all, TMZ has long been known for its celebrity connections, and Gypsy has clearly made it her mission to control her public image. TMZ's articles paints Gypsy as being pretty confident in Ken's paternity, suggesting she's doing the test not for herself but for her closure, for Ryan, and of course, for the public. Apparently, she wants to put any lingering doubts to rest so everyone can move on.
But I guess maybe she trapped Kenny boy, just like Rod was trapped. Man, you know.
But here's where things get interesting. Despite her insistence on Ken being the father, the article uses some curious language. It says, if Ken is not the father, why leave room for that if, when you're so certain? It's as though even Gypsy herself may have a few uncertainties, or she's purposefully leaving breadcrumbs to maintain a bit of suspense. This is the same Gypsy who has been trying to shake the public's doubts about her pregnancy since day one. And yet, with each step, she leaves just enough room for the speculation to stay alive.
Also, when it comes to side effects for the mom, say she does get this done and it does rupture her membranes, that leaves you open to infection. Infection leads or can lead to miscarriage. The fact that she is even entertaining this idea just to appease the public is concerning enough to wonder, is she going to make good decisions when this baby comes out?
It's almost like she's fueling the conversation to keep herself relevant, to keep people talking. This is a huge contrast from her repeated claims that she's above the drama. If you're really done with people's opinions, why keep feeding them? It raises the question, what's Gypsy's real game here? Let's take a moment to unpack the legal side of the story, which adds another layer of complexity. Even if Gypsy takes this test now, it actually won't mean much legally. In Louisiana, where her marriage with Ryan is still binding, he's still considered the baby's father by law. Yes, you heard that right. No matter what this private test shows, Ryan's name will end up on that birth certificate, unless a court-ordered test proves otherwise.
Number one, if you don't care about the drama, why bother with this? It sounds like from the article that the DNA test isn't even going to be valid for the court system once the baby is born. And depending on which procedure they do to determine if the baby is Ken's or not, these procedures can be quite invasive and risky.
And the kicker? That court-approved test can only happen after the baby is born in January. So where does that leave Gypsy's early test results? The truth is, they're pretty much just for show. These tests won't officially change anything, and it doesn't bring her any closer to finalizing her divorce with Ryan either, which is on hold until the official paternity test. So why is Gypsy going through all of this hassle if it won't really alter a thing? Is she trying to satisfy the public's curiosity, or is she using it as a strategy to get Ken more emotionally and maybe financially invested before January rolls around? The timing feels more than coincidental, if you ask me. It's almost like she's staging the drama to keep everyone hooked on her story.
I'm going to say something because putting your baby's life at risk over something like this? What? So she can find out who the baby's father is prematurely so that she can speed up her divorce? Or something? Or just for shits and giggles? I don't know. Regardless, I think it's ridiculous. Next day, but for the most part, it takes a few days to get results and up to several weeks to get them from CVS or amniocentesis paternity.
Let's think about this for a moment. Why the sudden urgency for a paternity test? TMZ's sources hint that Gypsy's doing it to help everyone move on. We all know that if Ryan genuinely wanted closure, he'd probably want to be involved in this test too. And we're not seeing that. The fact that Ryan isn't part of this test makes Gypsy's move seem a bit one-sided, as if it's not about Ryan at all. Maybe it's Ken who needs convincing here. After all, Gypsy and Ken went live on TikTok right before TMZ's article came out, and they looked, let's just say, less than perfectly synchronized. Could this be Gypsy's way of solidifying Ken's role before he has a chance to change his mind? If you watch the live, there's a certain hesitation in their dynamic, like Ken needs more reassurance because he's fully invested. The more you examine it, the more it feels like Gypsy's timing isn't a coincidence at all.
I specifically said in my GMA interview, once she is born, didn't nobody hear that? Once she is born, we will not post her on social media. I feel like we are happy, excited parents sharing pictures that, we're proud of our baby girl.
They just need things to grasp onto to.
The sudden decision to rush the test right after a night with Ken, followed immediately by the TMZ announcement, feels like a strategic move to cement Ken's place in her life story, making him feel indispensable. And speaking of timing, we can't ignore the fact that Lifetime is getting ready to launch season 3 of Gypsy's reality show. If you ask me, this smells like a setup for a storyline. It's not uncommon for reality shows to bring in real-life drama to boost their ratings. And what's a juicier plotline than a pregnancy and a mystery around the father? Imagine the anticipation they're building. Lifetime likely knows how invested the audience is in this storyline.
On top of that, there's already supposed to be a DNA test done when the baby's born. Why would you not wait until the baby is born before making such rash decisions? Because those complications are serious. Y'all think that Gypsy having to be in a wheelchair was serious. No, this is serious. She could cause serious harm to her pregnancy and the baby. She could potentially lose the baby.
And let's face it, Gypsy has been clear in the past that she wouldn't take an early test due to the cost. But now, suddenly, the money isn't an issue. If Lifetime's bankrolling the test, it would explain her change of heart. This could be a smart financial move for Gypsy, positioning her as a central figure in this season's plot while securing her bag. And with Lifetime footing the bill, this test isn't just about paternity, it's about control. If Ryan's ruled out as the father, he would have a lot less influence over the narrative of Gypsy's story, both in her life and on the show. Imagine the freedom this would give her. A pregnancy storyline centered around Gypsy and Ken, unburdened by Ryan's potential interference.
Ryan can just move on and leave her behind and have a whole life without ever looking back. And he absolutely deserves that after everything she put him through, making him look like an abuser on the show, making him look like a controlling freak. She tortured him. She used him. You know what I mean? Like, her mess is going to continue. She's always going to need her life to be a mess so people watch it.
It's almost as if Gypsy's decision to go ahead with the test is less about closure and more about positioning herself as a sole storyteller in her own drama. And that brings us to one of the biggest concerns: the potential manipulation of this test. With Gypsy's track record, people have every reason to be skeptical. Let's not forget, Gypsy has a history of bending the truth when it suits her. And there are already rumors that she could pull strings to shape the results to her liking. If the test comes back confirming Ken, does that really put the issue to rest? Or does it just give Gypsy a new angle to build on? Public trust is a tricky thing, and Gypsy's reputation isn't exactly spotless.
For example, the one procedure that I have heard about most is where they will take a very thin needle and they will extract amniotic fluid from the mother, from the baby, and that sample is used to compare with the father's DNA. That comes with risks as miscarriage, premature birth, leaking of amniotic fluid, bleeding, which I believe is one of the original reasons why Gypsy decided to wait until after the baby was born. So you're willing to risk all of that because of what people are saying on social media? That's concerning.
Even if she goes ahead and shares official results, there will always be those who question the authenticity. Can she really convince everyone? Or will her past keep coming back to haunt her? Gypsy's story has never been straightforward, and her reputation makes it hard for people to accept anything at face value. It's almost as if she's trapping herself in a circle of mistrust, where no matter what she does, someone will always wonder if she's playing another angle. Naturally, social media has been buzzing with reactions, theories, and alleged results. There's even talk circulating online that Ken is already confirmed as the father, thanks to a TikTok creator from the Good Wives Network who claims it's a done deal.
And allegedly, the results are in. And allegedly, it's Ken's baby. But allegedly, I think Ryan still needs to get a test. Because she can say whatever the hell she wants. Nobody would know. Nobody. Until it's court ordered, where they want her to take the test.
Now, this could all just be rumor, but it's fascinating to see how people are jumping on this bandwagon, accepting unverified information as fact. And if Ken believes it too, this could explain his confident attitude during his recent live appearance with Gypsy. But let's remember, none of this is legally binding. These are just whispers on social media, not courtroom decisions. Until there's an official court test, all these rumors do is fuel Gypsy's drama, adding to the suspense and keeping people glued to her story. Whether it's intentional or not, Gypsy's name is staying relevant, with every bit of speculation drawing more eyes to her and her situation.
The public can wait to find out if the baby is Ryan or Ken's. There is no need to rush this. There is no need to do this procedure that is so dangerous and so detrimental to her pregnancy. And Ken, if you ever watch any of my stuff, please let this be the video that makes it to you. This is a very, very dangerous procedure. You need to know all the risks involved before that procedure happens, because if something bad were to happen to this pregnancy, I can only imagine how it would shatter you. Whether you're the father or not, you have been there through it with her.
It's almost like she's created a whirlwind of questions that keep people watching, waiting for her next move. Let's break down Gypsy and Ken's recent TikTok live. On the surface, it seemed like a simple catch-up, but there was a lot packed into those few minutes. At one point, Ken says, "I love her, she's got my baby." Now, this might sound like a sweet sentiment, but let's dig a little deeper. He's not saying he loves Gypsy because of who she is. He's saying he loves her because she's carrying his child. There's a big difference, and people noticed.
No, I love her. I love her, love her, love her. She's got my baby. Of course. Mwah, mwah. Love her. No, we did not break up. Everything's still great. Baby due date, January 22nd. Ask her neighbors. Well, I feel like people just lie about their sources. Because either that or their neighbors or her neighbors are bored.
This live brought out some strange dynamics between the two. They brushed off his grumpy demeanor at the airport as teasing, and they clarified that they won't be posting pictures of the baby after she's born. But there is a pattern here. Gypsy has often flip-flopped on her boundaries with social media, saying one thing one day, doing the opposite the next. This inconsistency raises eyebrows. Is she setting rules for herself, or is she just adapting her message to fit what she thinks people want to hear? Each live session feels like a carefully crafted act, and this one was no different. Then there is the whole sonogram debacle. Some critics have suggested that the sonogram photos Gypsy shared are fake, and Ken had a lot to say about it. He angrily dismissed the accusations as ridiculous, calling out hater creators who allegedly stretch the truth.
Got anything to say about the fake sonogram pictures? You know, that's such a ridiculous, stupid question. They're all very real. They were all taken.
Many creators that have already debunked that because they overlaid the pictures.
No, it doesn't. We don't even need to debunk it. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, you know what's interesting is
if you want to believe that we went to a fake ultrasound place and posted fake sonogram pictures, and you go ahead and just live in that reality. I don't care enough to bring you out of it. You just go ahead and live that life.
what I was going to say was there's already creators out there debunking it on their own, because even some of the hater content creators are like, hey guys, I know we don't like the girl, but come on, this is a far stretch. And they put the two pictures on top of each other and showed that they're not the same picture. So
The frustration was clear in his voice, but this outburst did not do him any favors. If anything, it just made him seem defensive, like he had something to hide. The couple even shared their plans for two separate nurseries, one at Ken's and another at Gypsy's parents'. It's a peculiar setup, but in the grand scheme of things, it shows how disjointed their relationship dynamic is. They are playing at building a life together, but the details just don't quite fit. This isn't the seamless fairy tale family they want everyone to see. It's a patchwork of mismatched pieces held together by appearances.
Do we have everything we need for our new little girl? Well, we have mostly everything. We're going to be painting the nursery in my house in a couple weeks, and then we're going to set up the nursery in Gypsy's house at the same time, around the same time. It's kind of interesting because we have to set up two different nurseries and get two of everything, two cribs, two bassinets, because we have an interesting situation.
And finally, we can't ignore the timing of TMZ's article, which dropped just hours after that TikTok live. It's almost too perfect, don't you think? Gypsy claims she's doing this to provide closure, but with season 3 of her reality show on the horizon, you have to wonder if there is more to it. Lifetime knows that a good cliffhanger brings in viewers, and what's more suspenseful than a paternity test in the middle of a messy relationship? If Lifetime is indeed nudging her to take these tests early, it would explain a lot. It's as if every move she makes is calculated, each step building the drama for the next season.
Exactly. We are doing everything pregnant couples do. Yeah. Thanks, Crystal. Appreciate you for being one of the few sane ones in the chat. Be happy. Does Parker have a costume? We have something in mind for him, but no spoilers yet.
I wish he would wear like full costumes. But
How's the nursery? Full costumes?
yeah, like full costumes where it's like they have the little hat and they have the little
For
outfit.
Parker?
Yeah. I don't think he'd be one of them dogs that like that.
No. We'll find something good for him. I have something actually in mind for him, so.
Okay.
But what's concerning is how far Gypsy might be willing to go to make this story stick. The question now is, where does the drama end? And does it ever really end for Gypsy Rose Blanchard? So, where does that leave us? Gypsy's actions seem to raise more questions than they answer. Is this test really for closure? Or is it just another step in her plan to control the narrative? The live session, the TMZ article, and the timing of it all point to deeper motives. Let's hear from you. Do you think Gypsy's paternity test is a genuine attempt to provide closure, or do you suspect she's got another agenda? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, because trust me, there is more drama on the horizon. Until next time, stay tuned.